I started this channel talking about classical music because that's what I thought this channel was going to be about. Talk about what you know, they say. Stick to one clear topic. That's what YouTube rewards. But I've been realizing something recently. Classical music has never been the whole story for me. Maybe it shouldn't be the whole story for this channel either. I've always had an analytical mind, process-oriented. A leads to B, B leads to C. I've also always been very sensitive to what's happening around me and to the messy swirl of emotions happening inside. And I've always been curious about everything. There are always questions. What's going on here? How does this work? Why is this happening this way? For many of you, the first video you saw from me was an artistic and cultural analysis of this year's Super Bowl halftime show. That moment was not about sports, and it certainly wasn't about classical music. It was about art in the public arena. It was about what art is, how it works, and what audiences expect from it. More than 25,000 people watched that video, more than any other video I've made on this channel. Hundreds of you subscribed because of it. That response told me something important. The questions I've been asking about art, creativity, and culture are questions many of you are interested in exploring as well. Recently, I've been thinking about the kinds of videos I make for this channel, many of which I'm quite proud of, and about what I want to explore moving forward. There's subjects I'm curious about and creative ideas I want to experiment with, but I've been hesitant to go there, partly because I wasn't sure those ideas fit the channel, partly because I wasn't sure anyone really wanted to hear my thoughts on art and culture, and partly because I wasn't sure anyone would care about my artistic experimentation. But then I remembered something I've said before on this channel. Art is one of the most powerful tools we have for understanding what it means to be human. It helps us understand our thoughts, our emotions, and the world around us, whether we're creating the art or experiencing someone else's. So if I really believe that, then as a professional artist, I should be setting the example. So I've decided to widen the lens of this channel. My life should be an object lesson for what art can do for a person. Just to be clear, I'm not moving away from classical music. Classical music is still my love, my training ground, and my expertise. And I still believe it's one of the best doorways into seeing art as something deeper than just pleasant entertainment. But the reality of how my mind works is that there's never much daylight between my artistic impulses and my analytical ones. They're all mixed together. So instead of trying to keep those things in separate boxes, I'm gonna lean in and let it inform the kinds of videos I make. Let me tell you what I have in mind. Cultural moments. Every once in a while, art shows up in the public space in a big way. A halftime show, a global performance, a cultural moment that suddenly everyone is reacting to. I've actually analyzed moments like this a couple times already. I talked about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show last year. Click the link up here if you want to watch that. These moments are fascinating because they give us a window into how art, culture, and the public space intersect. They're opportunities to look at what art reveals about the culture watching it. So I'm going to cover more of these. Experiments in creativity. Up till now, most of my videos have been straightforward video essays, just me talking to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But filmmaking itself is an art form, and I want to start exploring that as part of the process. I've been inspired by some incredible creator filmmakers, channels like YC Imaging and Gox Art, who use cinematography, editing, and visual storytelling to deepen the message they're communicating. So, moving forward, some of what you'll see here will simply be experiments, new ways of using film language to express my ideas about art, philosophy, and creativity. Some of these ideas will unfold as individual videos, and some may be longer series, stories that take a little time to explore properly. Deep dives, institutions, and public art. Sometimes the exploration will take the form of deeper, multi-video investigations about art and the institutions that shape it. One story that just keeps on giving is the ongoing situation surrounding the Trump administration and the Kennedy Center, the intersection of art, government, politics, and public funding. I've been going back and forth about discussing this one for months, partly because it's complicated and people definitely have strong feelings about what's going on. But the more I've looked into it, the more I've realized it's a perfect window into some bigger issues. What role should art play in public life? Should the government be involved at all? Who decides what art gets supported? And most importantly, who pays for it? And whether you've ever heard of the Kennedy Center or not, those questions affect all of us. After all, ultimately, it is our money. And 4, exploring art itself. Just as always, the structure of a piece of music or a film or a work of art, and what it reveals about how artists think and how audiences experience the meaning of the art. I didn't come to my ideas about art from a philosophy or a psychology department. I came to them from practice rooms, rehearsal halls, and concert stages. I came to them from practicing scales night after night until the wee hours. And when you spend that much time with art, you start to realize art isn't just entertainment. It's a way of seeing. And that's what this channel is going to explore. Through music, through culture, through creative experiments, through the strange and crazy ways art shows up in public life. Different topics, different formats, but all part of the same exploration. So, if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned.